Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Sean.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're the Natural Gamers, and today we're going to be talking about a game that I've been excited about for kind of a long time.
I haven't.
You weren't. You were not down on this game at all. Like, what happened was, like, you were excited for Tomb Raider. Like, as far as, like, these games that are coming out this month, like, you were into Tomb Raider, and I was kind of on the fence about Tomb Raider. I was really into Bioshock. You were kind of on the fence about Bioshock. So that's what we played. We played Bioshock Infinite, and now we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So, what are your overall general opinions? What's your general opinions on this game?
Everybody.
Everybody that's here in this room.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Actually, like he said, I'm not like a huge fan of Bioshock.
Well, have you ever played the original?
I have. I played the first one.
Okay.
The second one, you guys.
Doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
But yeah, I was impressed, and I really enjoyed the game. It's like it's a real game.
Yeah.
Like it's through and through a game that it capitalize on every standpoint of what makes a good game a good game.
Yeah, I think the gameplay is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's kind of a throwback. It's very simple gameplay, especially from what we're used to with first-person shooters and stuff. It's kind of simplified.
Yeah, and which makes it enjoyable.
But I think it made it fun. Like, it makes the combat fun. And I think like the length of the battles and stuff like that, which was something that like can really be a drag in a lot of first-person shooters when you're doing like enemy waves and shit.
Yeah.
I think there was enough variety of enemies, and I think they last just long enough that they never feel like they overstay their welcome, or that you get like bored or jaded about like kind of like the amount of enemies. Like, come on, really? Like already, like that's what I can't stand about like when I've tried to play like through Call of Duty Black Ops 2 the campaign because I hear it's interesting, but the enemy wave stuff gets so repetitive and boring that I don't even care.
And it's nothing. It's like that, but it's not as extreme.
It's not as extreme, exactly. I think like they just paced it out really well. And one of those rare times where I feel like gameplay and story, everything kind of works together super well. Coexists pretty well. And like a lot of interesting things. I mean, for people that are fans of Bioshock, the original game, it's kind of like, as far as gameplay wise, it is a better Bioshock.
Yeah. Very improved.
Yeah, I mean, like, you had the biotics or whatever you call them, the powers. And this game is vigors, and the other one was, I think, I'm not even sure what the hell they're.
Yeah, I kind of think feel like it's almost the same.
Well, no, it is. It's the same concept. Yeah. You have a gun in one hand, you have powers in the other hand, and you play it.
And you can
upgrade your stuff. Which is, it's also very simple, and it's kind of like, I mean, like, you're naturally going to do it as you progress through the game, but at no time did I ever feel like pressured or that I really had to. I mean, I think like if you didn't do it, like it would probably get really difficult towards the end because you increase like clip size and stuff. Like that gets to be kind of important. Like towards the end, like you're gonna want to have a lot of bullets and stuff like that.
You can use your environment to your advantage. Like there's things in the game where Elizabeth, I mean, I don't hope this isn't a spoiler, but she can create. There's terrors throughout the whole world. Yeah,
and she can make things appear.
Right, like such as oil spills and turrets and hydrants, and you can throw down your electrical vigor and electrocute like all the enemies around you.
Yeah.
Like the one I thought was awesome was the Tesla core, and it's just this big giant electrical
thing that electrocutes people as they run by. Yeah,
it was awesome.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. It's like a lot of cool innovation and stuff like that. Like that's one of the cool things I think about her character in general, is because she's an AI companion. But she's not a drag, and she's actually kind of helpful.
She's the best AI companion I've ever probably.
Yeah, I think like the only thing you could say, like as far as like the enemy AI, like why does everybody just ignore her?
Yeah.
Like nobody ever acknowledges her. She's like running around throwing guns at you and stuff like that, and she doesn't fight, so she's just hiding. And they kind of could be standing right next to her, and she doesn't do anything. But I think even as far as even her design, like they designed her to kind of look like a Disney princess. Ken Levine, like she's got kind of those same features, right? Like she's got the big eyes. She even kind of looks like she's dressed kind of like Belle from Beauty and the Beast a little bit. Which makes sense. So I guess that's a good segue to get into story stuff.
Right.
Okay, so the story.
Yeah.
What did you think of the story?
It was good. For me, Sean had to clear up a couple things at the end, just because maybe I didn't pay attention as much as I should have, because there were some confusing things. that definitely kind of like
things that we're not going to talk about here for spoiler reasons. But like it's a game that like the more you explore the world of Columbia, like the better understanding you're going to have. So the more time you take like to find all the audio logs, just like in Bioshock, you know, like they have like all the audio logs and stuff. You find those things, like you're going to have a better understanding of actually what's going on, because like the story as just straightforward presented, if you only like were to experience the necessary triggered events.
That's what I did.
That's maybe kind of what you did, other than like stumbling on some voxes and stuff. Well, I mean, like the voxes that you need to see are usually really obvious.
Right. Yeah.
So they're there.
They're dropping for you.
But like so the more you kind of explore, the more you're going to get out of it. I think the story, like, it has a lot to do with, you know, racial tensions and because it takes place in 1912, so there's a lot of racist kind of stuff in there, and it's like a really big element. I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's a really big, important element for like 2/3 of the game. And then the last third, they kind of just drop it, and I can't say anything else because we can't talk about it. So I feel like maybe like they should have been able to make that come full circle with the rest of the story, but they didn't. But it's not. Other than that, but that's a minor gripe.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because this is probably, I don't know. Some people have been saying this is the best of the generation. I don't know if I'd go that far. I think it's kind of like you can't really say that just yet.
Yeah, because we're not done.
We're not done with this generation. But yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be the. I think it's too early to say that it's the best of the generation. I don't know. Like, what do you think? Like, as far as like, how does this hold up to games you've been playing for the past couple of years?
It holds up very well. Like, it's probably one of the top 5 games I've played on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360.
For this generation. Definitely. I think it's going to be up there with like the best of the generation. Yeah. To say it's the best, I think is a stretch. I think for like storytelling and stuff like that, it's up there. Like, because it is a pretty immersive world. It's paced very well because it takes like kind of bigger, broader ideas and packages it into a commercial action game, which is something that I find I'm just impressed that they got it out. You know what I mean?
And they executed it as well as they did.
Yeah,
because that could have been crap, I guess.
It could have been, or it could have been mishandled like poorly. So it was kind of like the racism stuff could have been like even though it does beat you over the head with it. I mean, a little bit. That's good, but kind of gets you. But it's 1912. I mean, and that's another thing that I think is just a testament to this game. Why people like it so much. The world of Columbia is so like visceral. And it's kind of awesome, like when you first get there, especially, and like see kind of this alternate history about like how like presidents are being worshipped as prophets and stuff like that. Like it's kind of cool.
It's cool. It is cool, and they tied it, and it worked. And it worked. So I'm glad. It's awesome.
Yeah. Like I don't know. What did you think about that stuff? Like as far as were you kind of shocked like about the races, like how up front it was with that?
Well, shit? I feel like that kind of just sets your emotion towards like what your character kind of feels, and just like it just sets the pace of, I don't know. I'm trying to think here. Kind of puts you into the mindset of like this is how it is. That's
in the time period.
Yeah, and that's just how it was.
No, I think it contextualizes it. It makes the world feel more alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like there's a lot of cool stuff. Like you listen to people talking as you're walking by. Like there's a lot of cool little tidbits and stuff. Like they hate misogyny. Like there are actually. These people are like really pro women in Colombia, which is Colombia separate from America, from the United States. They've annexed themselves, so they're part of like that whole thing.
It's its own world. Basically.
Yeah. But like the world they built was like infinitely interesting. Like I never got bored exploring it.
Yeah.
I mean, because I played this game like 13 hours straight.
I did.
Fucking beginning to end, I couldn't stop playing. I really, really loved it. Like, and I never got bored. Like, I never got jaded about playing it or sick of experiencing new things in the world.
And I feel like like Sean said, the conversations you make it believe like these are real regular people. Like, and it kind of gives you the moment. This is just like their lives, and this is just how they're. I kind of feel like they were brainwashed. Well, they are brainwashed.
To a degree, I think part of it's like the time period that they lived in, and then part of it is like it's brainwashing because they follow the Prophet Comstock, like
I don't know. I just feel like
they're kind of religious fanatics to a degree. To a degree, because I don't think everybody in Colombia subscribes to that. Like I don't. I think it's a much richer world than that, and I think just like not everybody believes and feels the same way in this world. Yeah. It was a pretty varied world, and even if you were out just listening to NPC conversations, you can kind of get a sense of that. There's different beliefs and there's different like things and like different extremes and And especially if you really like listen to all the audio logs and stuff like that, you get a real breadth of like what this world is like, and with the people, a lot of personal accounts and stuff like that. That is pretty neat. Yeah. So. I don't know. Do you think? What do you think about there not being any multiplayer?
I feel like that's fine.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of games nowadays try to push multiplayer for the sake,
like Tomb Raider.
Like Tomb Raider for the sake of having multiplayer, because this is what our generation requires for it to be a replayable game.
Yeah.
But I feel like this game has enough in itself that you can replay this again and enjoy it just as much.
Well, and I think, and actually, I think like you get more from the game upon second playing. Like when I finished this game, I just wanted to play it again the next day. Actually, last night as I was going to bed, I watched like somebody cut a 2-hour movie together. I watched it because I just like enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed the world. I enjoyed the characters. It's so well voice acted and like presented that like it's kind of like the best movie that's never been made. Like
that would be awesome.
But I think it's a fantastic commentary on video games and stories, and just like everything comes together full circle. I don't think it was like, you know, like some people just say things about like, you know, endings about like it's just a shock value of it. I think this game like earns like where it goes, where it ends up going, and it totally makes sense like once you're there. And it was really just, I don't know, like it made me like feel just like happy to be a gamer again, like kind of reinvigorated my interest in like the possibility of the medium, because I think a lot of times I've been going to indie games a lot lately to get like more fruitful, different experiences, more varied experiences, better stories.
Yeah, because a lot of the big games nowadays are really linear and predictable, and I feel like this game kind of, I don't know.
I mean, while it's linear to a degree,
but it's I don't know.
I don't think you can see you don't really know where it's going. Like it's constantly surprising you.
Yeah.
It is. But I think like, you know, it's weird for a game like this. This is a really expensive game to make, and I think it's weird that like most AAA games are not like this, because most AAA games have to follow a formula that they know they can make money.
Right. It's kind of like taking a risk.
This is kind of a gamble. Bioshock Infinite is kind of a gamble for a studio. But they had Bioshock that came before it, which was really successful, so it's not totally a gamble.
Yeah.
So then they have the same talent and creative team. So there's a little bit of security there, of course. Like Bioshock does have a name. It does have some cachet with it, you know, just being another Bioshock game.
Something to stand on.
But it's cool, like somebody like Ken Levine like can go out and like make it is truly like his vision. It like feels like a piece of art and a piece in a game at the same time. Like in the same way that like a movie feels like a piece of art.
It's his own game. He's not created.
It's very much a unique voice, like that's coming through, like, and that he created this thing in this world, and really awesome. Like I would recommend it. Like even at $60, I think it's worth your money. I think it's worth your money myself, and I'm gonna get the season pass so I can get the DLC. Because the DLC is gonna be story based, and I would love to more of that game. Yeah, I don't know, any final thoughts, anything you want to leave?
Like you said, I recommend it. It's definitely worth $60. You should do it. Go for it. Take a risk and play this game, because
even if you were on the fence about it, I think it's well worth
even if you just enjoy like a good, you know,
or I would say, you know what, if you can't afford it, go watch somebody's Let's Play and like watch their whole thing, because it's worth like just to experience the story. Try to find one that doesn't have any commentary and just like watch somebody play the game. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome just to watch somebody play it too. Like it's fun to watch somebody play it as well. But anyways, I think that's gonna do it for us. I'm Sean.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're the Natural Gamers, and we will talk to you guys the next time we have something to talk about.